What is up, fellow roaders? I'm Joshua Thomas, and welcome to part 6. Yeah, that's right, part 6 of our Star Wars Rebellion How to Play videos. In this video, we're going to talk about all the rules that you need to know regarding the Rebel base. There's a lot to do with the Rebel base here because it is just such a special section of the map that can change everything. Even little rules here and there are going to be a little bit different. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, when it comes to the game setup, one of the last things you'll do is choose the location of the Rebel base after the Imperials have chosen their location. So just for the sake of simplicity, let's say that our secret Rebel base is located on Yavin. So we're kind of in trouble here. Let's talk about a few things that are specific to the Rebel base. First off, the Rebel base does not count as a system. It is its own little secret place that is located within a system that has a planet and the space around it. Whenever you are to build or move units from or complete missions on the Rebel base, it's always going to take place on the Rebel base's space, so you might put the leader there. This all changes when the Rebel base has been revealed for whatever reason. So once that happens, if the Rebel base is ever revealed, all of these units move on to the sector that the Rebel base is located in, along with the leader. And then if you want to deploy units to the Rebel base, you actually have to deploy them to the sector that the Rebel base is located in. When the Rebel base has been located by the enemy, its card remains face up. So let's back up and say that our Rebel base is still hidden, and we're still nice and cozy. And we'll move some units back here. I don't remember who all was where, but that's what we're gonna do. All right. Moving units to and from the Rebel base has some special rules in itself and also pertain to normal movement rules in certain situations. Take, for instance, Jyn Erso performed a mission in the Rebel base, which means all of these units have been frozen from going to any of the surrounding locations. There are certain mission cards that will state whether normal rules can be disobeyed, such as leaders in the Rebel base don't prevent movement, or you don't have to be adjacent to the sector in order to move units to or from the Rebel base. It'll simply state that on the mission card. Here's a bit more of an in-depth look at how to move units to and from the Rebel base. So let's say that this probe card represents our Rebel base here. It's for Naboo, and of course, anytime you want to move people, you have to place leaders somewhere. So you can place leaders in the same system that the Rebel base is in, or in any of the adjacent systems, and the Rebel units can move into combat from the Rebel base using normal movement rules, or simply just move to another place on the map that is adjacent to the Rebel base. So, lots of options to go from there. And once again, if you want to activate the Rebel base itself, you can move units to it from any surrounding territory and the system that it's in. But of course, be warned, if you do this, then you're giving away the position of the Rebel base to the Empire. That's really all there is to movement to and from the Rebel base. To look into more in-depth movement rules, be sure and check out our movement video. There are only 2 or 3 ways that the Rebel base can be revealed. 2 ways by the Empire and 1 way by the Rebels themselves. First off, the Rebels can simply reveal that they're in a certain planet whenever they want to. Usually this happens when you just want to move your Rebel base, say that she's here because she has opted to do the rapid mobilization, and the Rebel base is going to move anyway at the end of this round. In that case, you would still move all units to the system that the Rebel base is located in, and all reveal rebel base rules would apply. Probably the most common way that the rebel base is going to be revealed is when enemy units move into that sector. So it's important to note that while you can have the rebel base on this planet, you can separate where you move units, either to the system itself or onto the rebel base. So this Empire is going to attack thinking that, oh, there's just a couple rebel resistors here, so they're going to move in and move in some ground units, and then realize, oh man, that's the rebel base, and now all of these units and all leaders that were on the rebel base are now involved in the conflict. So when this happens, you can still add more leaders into the fight, just like you would in a normal combat situation. Finally, the last way that the rebel base can be revealed is if the Empire decides to do a diplomacy mission and gains loyalty in that system. If the Empire has loyalty in the system where the rebel base is located, then the rebel base is revealed and all revealed rebel base rules apply. Now let's say that combat has actually started in a different location. Let's say that these ships from Mon Calamari move in attempting to destroy this ship, and they decide to make a hasty retreat because they know they're not going to win. These units aren't here, so this seems like a viable option for the Empire to retreat to. They retreat, take their ground forces with them, and voila, the rebel base turns out to be right there, and another combat will commence once all combat in the original sector has ceased. Whether using the base game or the expansion, these same rules apply. Another interesting note is that the Death Star under construction states to put it in any remote system that does not contain any enemy units, which means the Death Star under construction can be placed over the rebel base, which will remain secret until either ground units come there or the rebels opt to reveal themselves, maybe in an attempt to destroy the Death Star under construction. Now let's say we have a fully operational Death Star, and it decides to blow up the planet that the rebel base is on. The Empire automatically wins in that situation. When it comes to the Empire hopping across the galaxy and entering new planets, this is one of the few times where the rebels have to tell the truth about whether the base is there or not. The rebels always want to bluff about where their base is, but once ground forces have landed, the rebel player must tell the truth if they are on that space or not. When it comes to winning the game, the Empire automatically wins if there are no rebel units in the rebel base's sector and there are still Imperial units there. If there are still ground forces after battle has commenced, or vice versa, there's air units and no ground units, then the rebels are still in the game and they still have a chance for victory. Using the Rapid Mobilization card, the rebels can establish a new rebel base. This happens at the end of the round before entering the refresh phase. What will happen is that the rebels will first draw 4 probe cards, 8 if they have 2 leaders on there. They're going to look at these cards secretly and decide which one they want to move their rebel base to. If they don't like any of the planets that they have chosen, or they can't move to these new planets due to Imperial presence, then they don't actually have to move to the new planet as long as their base has remained hidden. If they choose to move to the new place, then the rebel base moves, but all the units that were in that sector must stay in that sector. And so for a short time, the rebel base will actually be empty until you can bring new units in using the building and deploying action, or by once again secretly moving rebels from one place to the rebel base. If the rebel did move, then they give their probe card of the original Rebel base to the Imperial player. The location of their new Rebel base goes upside down next to the Rebel base space on the game board. A couple mission cards that are important here. The long-range probe mission does not actually reveal the Rebel base, but if your leader happens to be on the Rebel base's system, the Rebel player simply has to tell you that yes, the Rebel base is there. They don't actually have to reveal it, and they've got to tell the truth in this situation. Also, when a mission would normally be attempted in the Rebel base after it has been discovered, the mission will instead be attempted in the Rebel base's system until a new Rebel base can be established and it's hidden again. Also, anything else that would normally happen in the Rebel base space, or other missions that would draw units from the Rebel base's space, will instead draw rebels from the system instead. So you can still use these other cards as long as all the other proper rules apply. Well guys, that is everything you need to know about the rules regarding the Rebel base in Star Wars Rebellion and in the expansion. If you think I've left anything out, or if you still got any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll update as we go along. Make sure you like and subscribe and click that bell button next to the subscribe button so that you can get the next videos in these series. And be sure and check out all of our other board gaming videos on the Failroad Express. Part 7 is going to be a big one. It's going to have to do with combat in the base game. There'll be a separate video that deals with combat in the expansion, because combat in the expansion is one of the biggest changes that you're going to see from base to expansion. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Hey, is there a question that you had that this video didn't answer? Leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But keep in mind that your answer might just be in a different video if it's in a different category. Thanks for watching.